Good afternoon, Timothy.
Good afternoon.
How was your long week?
It was really long,
Just can
but we
imagine.
bless God. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. I also want to give God thanks for this gorgeous week. And guess what? Today is Friday, everybody, which means I'm off tonight. So after this, I'm going to sleep because I got to be back at 2:30. So we give God thanks for this segment, and this is Great Way Finances. And we're going to be talking to Timothy about finances. You know, I wish and one day I'll be able to talk to you just like Timothy talked to you. So because I don't know how to do that yet, you heard the word yet, so which means I have faith. But all I can encourage us all now is to do for our children. You may say to me, "Oh, my pension is small." If you put away $3 a day and you're listening down and you're driving all over the place, I think you can call Timothy and say, Timothy, I have $35 at the end of the month. What can that do? And I want to believe for certain, one thing for sure that I know, he will say to you, we need an extra $5, but let me see how I can work out that. You see, that's our brothers and sisters in church. I can trust him. So if I tell you that, just call him. His number is on the screen. You just say, Timothy, this is all I have. And then he will say, okay, I will make an appointment and I'll come by and I'll talk to you. And you're going to realize your $30 could pay for two children. Woo! I'm just saying, I don't know. But when he make the appointment, please call me and tell me how excited you are. And then I can tell other people what you do and other people and other people. And then more would start trickling in with $15 or $20. You never know. Then I could pay probably like 5 children. Could you imagine? By faith. Let's sow this seed by faith that this is going to happen. I'm trusting God. Are you going to be praying for Timothy? For those
Absolutely.
appointments, just call him. Even if you don't have anything, just say, I want an appointment to understand what to do. Easy peasy. He'll come and explain it to you. That I know for certain. So I'll turn you over to Timothy and he will take it from there. Amen. My name is Tex Manwarin and this is Great Way Finances.
Hallelujah. We give glory to God for another wonderful session on the Great Way Financial Money Matters. It's been beautiful days, beautiful times. And of course, we know it's been also challenging times because of a lot of things are going on around us, around the world. And those things are really, really very, very crucial to pay attention to, right? One of the things we've been talking about again and again is the current financial crisis that is currently going on, right? An example is inflation, right? Inflation is becoming really, really prevalent in almost uh, almost everything that we have to buy. The prices have increased tremendously. Of course, the government is trying to do as much as they can to help to alleviate the problems. But um, I've, you know, most of us must have heard about this statement that we have made before that there is very, very little the government can do for you. The best case scenario the government can do for you is to try to make sure that you have something to eat, right? And they will really, really not bother about how good where you want to lay your head is, right? As long as they know that you can find somewhere, right? So, um, it has become very, very important that we take care of ourselves, we take care of our families, we take care of our loved ones. And so we have been talking about an interesting topic, um, in the past 2 weeks that we're going to continue on today on these Money Matter shows that happen every Tuesday and Friday between 12 and 1 p.m. And it's usually a great time because we want to share, some tips and tricks that can help you and your family to make that difference, right? One of the important tricks and tips we have been sharing is do something for our kids, right? There's, you know, there's no any other way to say it. If we want to make a difference in their lives, there are so many things that we can do for them that probably um, our parents didn't do exactly the same, but I believe that they still did something for us, and that is why we are here today. That's why we are here where we are today. But we can do much better, right? Um, is it very important that we do it? Yeah, it has even become more important because of various experience and statistics that we are seeing today. And a lot of people say um, we learn from the past, right? We learn from the past so that we can make a better future. And that is exactly why we have been talking about um, financial fitness. Why do we want to be financially fit, right? The reason why we want to be financially fit is that we want to take care of our future, right? So financial future fitness is those things you are doing today that matters for our tomorrow, right? Example number one, savings, right? Um, Interestingly, I was opportuned um, to give some both seminar and some one-on-one group training on real estate some years ago. And when we got on the call and the I threw out a question there, I said, does anybody know exactly what you need to know in order for you to buy a house or in order for you to, embark on an investment like real estate? And a lot of people answered the question, and the answers were very, very interesting. Some people say probably you should determine the amount of house you want to buy. People said things like you should start looking for somebody, group of people that you want to work with that can help you to be successful. And all those things are great points. They are really, very, really, very, they are on point. But I told them that the best thing you should do when you want to embark on an investment like a real estate is, number one, you should save as much as you can. And number two is you should save. And number three is you should save. So the reason why is there is always something. There is always room to uh, to uh, to prepare, for the future. So just take it that way. Um, and what do I mean by that? I think when we had some of our real estate class presentation, I told you something that you must have heard it before. They said that you can buy a real estate with your money or with somebody else's money, meaning that you don't have to use your money, but they still need to have funding, right? The funding has to come from somewhere. So those are the things that we were looking at, and we were encouraging us to understand a number of very, very key facts, such as the expert said that personal financial management is 80% of our behavior, right? And 20% of the knowledge and the skills. So that is why a lot of people become financially free today by making a lot of mistake, right? They tried several things and they are successful today because they are because financial management is 80%. of behavior. It's 80% of action, right? It's 80% of practice, of the work, right? You don't need all the knowledge, because if you need all the financial knowledge in order to be successful, then definitely, exactly, Elon Musk will not be the world richest man. Um, the Microsoft, Bill Gates will not even be richest man. Do you know why? Because we have professors, of finance who actually wrote the old textbooks, right? That talks about everything model of finance, right? So that is exactly, let's learn from that. Let's let's put these things into action. Let's learn from our mistakes. Let's improve, right? Let's improve. Another thing I wanted to say is, let's make sure that we hold on to those um, those good habits that we have shared, right? Some of the things that we shared about this, we have to make goals. Make your monthly goals. How much am I? Will be my income this month, and what exactly do I want to do, right? Um, we'll talk about a number of very, very important things like budgeting, like tips for budgeting, and a lot of other very, very key financial fitness um, tools that we should have. But sincerely, right, I will say it's really, really easy to do a lot of budgeting and tracking these days, because there are even tools, there are even free tools on the internet that we can use, right? So we talked about bad habits, right? What are the bad habits that we should definitely avoid? We talked about them last week. If you have missed, go to our Tuesday presentation showtime. You'll see that we talk about a lot of things. Um, all the things that we mentioned were really, 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 very, very powerful, strong things that you should avoid, right? Um, but that the one of the bad spending habit that wrapped up everything, that wrapped up all the old, things that we should avoid, is the last one that says the bad habit that you should avoid is spend, 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 right? A lot of us, we just want to spend money. There's nothing absolutely wrong with spending money, but there is something that we should do before we spend, spend, spend. That is save, 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 right? So that is the idea. Of course, we don't want to spend more than we earn as well, right? Very, very important. We want to spend less than we earn. So spending is very, very important, right? Don't buy everything now and pay later. Do you know why? The reason is that we will still have to pay more when we planned to pay that money off. Then there's still more things to pay off at that time, right? And there's still always more to buy. So don't do that. If you want to buy anything and you are planning to pay later, then check whether that thing is necessary. If it is necessary, if it is very crucial, yes, you can do that. But if it is not, it is absolutely good to avoid it. So some people might ask a question and say, is like owning a car, right? I think we mentioned it last week. Is it necessary? Um, is it a want or a need? And we will talk a little bit about it today, because don't forget, we will talk about um, those places that you should actually avoid. Um, Interestingly, we will not mention names. We will not say avoid, um, this company, avoid that. But we will give you the caption that will tell us exactly those things that you should avoid and why you should avoid them. Okay, so finally, before we kick off today, let's avoid impulse buying and emotional buying. I think we agreed that the women do more of impulse buying. Oh, they said no, it's only the men that does impulse buying and emotional purchases. Okay, no problem. So let's avoid any form of emotional purchases. Let's um, um,
Ladies shop because the money is in the purse.
yeah, absolutely. So, and don't forget, one of the things, we talked about a lot of things that are not in the slide, so that when you hear the presentation, we said when you want to buy things, um, actually, Texman Warren mentioned something last week, and I can testify here that uh, from my experience, most of the people that corrected their spending habits, most of the people that I have seen that corrected their spending habit, one thing they did was they stopped using credit card for purchases. They started using cash. Yes, yes, yes. So I've seen that. In fact, I had the opportunity to have people that are really close to me that were doing that. And then I will ask them, you are just paying, 2,500, and you are using your debit card. Cash doesn't mean that you can also, they start keeping a lot of cash for sure. But let's say that you want to buy something, significant, right? And they tell me, yes, they said, we have been saving for this. This thing is, of course, very, very, is a need, but I don't want to use my credit card. I want to buy it, with that cash. And I know that it's a good thing if we all have cash to buy things. I think that is the best, one of the most healthy way to spend, so that it will help us to manage, to restrict ourselves, so that we don't spend.
It
Uh,
also helps you to be disciplined because
yes,
if you don't have it, then you can't get it, right? No matter
yes,
how
that is true.
important it is to us. Yep.
Absolutely, yes, that is true. So most of the time, if we won't have to buy something in cash, if you remember vividly, for those of us who have stayed in an environment where there is no credit facility, right? Like me personally, I grew up, you know, where there is no credit facility, and I can remember that each time my family has a project, you understand, that money is there when we are going. We even use cash, you know. And a lot of people will say, how do probably you want to buy something of $100,000, or sorry, 100,000 in my currency. How do you maybe? The truth is that those people whom you want to go and purchase all what you need from, they don't even have the POS. They don't have all the systems, right? So you have to pay them in cash. So the interesting thing is, when you go, you have to wait, you have to give time in order for the recipient to calculate the money, to count everything, right? And I think personally I really miss that, right? Because when you want to buy anything here, you know, in fact, some of them you don't even take receipts. You just tap and you go, right? Tap and go, right? But back those days, they will count the money. Everything has to be, complete. Then they will now have to issue you evidence that you have paid, because, of course, your payment cannot be tracked, right? I can go out of that store and the person says, actually, you didn't give me any money. But if you pay with your card, definitely, there are thousands of chains of people that will be evidence to you paying that money, right? So financial fitness, let's talk about part 3, where we want to talk about some important stuff like budgeting and those things that you should actually know and use as and as much as possible. So we will talk more about some of these financial concepts today that are relating to financial strategy and how to manage your finances and become more financially fit, but they are only for educational purpose. The truth is that, I mentioned it, there are rooms um, for behavior and putting things into practice. There's room, for example, you may fail in doing something and then you learn it all over again and you try again. So we know that you should always understand the information, ask question, as text Warren says, feel free. It's free to set up an appointment and talk to us over what you are thinking of, and we will help you, we will guide you through if necessary. If otherwise, we'll point you to where you will get the right information. So we hope that you will succeed building your financial future and the financial future of your family. All right. So meanwhile, we are motivated each day to talk about the current situation of Canadians, right? Both Canadian, young, old, irrespective of their financial status, are going through a lot of financial, um, times, or they are going through a lot of phases, right, in um, their finances, right. It was announced a week ago about how the stock market is fluctuating, is going up and going down, and I was actually paying attention to uh, some of those updates, and what I discovered was sometimes our financial status and what we go through, um, we may not understand, but it applies to everybody, right? It applies to everybody. Where if Facebook shares goes down today by just $1, and at the end of the day, the total amount of dollar in terms of the market low was they lost maybe um, $5 million or $50 million, then to those people, it's a lot of money, right? So we want to prepare well for the future. We want to have a well-planned retirement. We want to um, be financially strong. We have to want to have financial security when we retire, because a lot of Canadians don't have the habits, the right education that we are, that helps them to maximize the potential of their savings, right? We talked about saving, very important, very key, but we want that money to do something, right? To work for you and I, to do as much as it can do in order to help us to prepare for that future. So 35% of Canadians don't even know anything about savings or investment, right? That is quite a lot. There's a difference between knowing and even being educated and being successful. So we have to start by knowing as much as we can, right, in order to help our family. So most of us, don't want to become part of the statistics before we know that there's trouble that is there, right? A lot of us know that we are still staying in some of the most wealthiest country in the world, but we still talk about money issue. We don't still have enough money, right? That definitely means that we need to do something, right? A lot of us think that what we need to do is to work very hard. Yes, we should work hard, but we should make sure that our money is working hard for us as well, right? We want to make sure we raise our kid, right, in such a way that they don't finish college with a lot of debts, right? We don't want debt to become a way of life. So that is why we are talking about financial fitness. So what are the places we want to avoid? Number one is there are a number of things on the list that are not appearing on this slide, but I will mention them as well. They are still not specific, but I will just mention them. Number one is we should avoid credit repair companies. Okay. Yes. So what they do is they end up causing more harm to us than good, right? Credit repair companies are the companies that tells you, and we will explain exactly what it is. They are the companies that tells you that, oh, you have this credit card debt, you have that credit card debt, right? You have many debts. That is a good thing, don't worry, okay? In fact, some of them will say, make sure that you have more debt as much as possible, then come, right? We will help you to fix those debts, okay? I don't know whether Texman Warren has even heard about that before, but credit repair company is a huge business in Canada. So these people simply call you, they tell you, you have so many debts, right? And you are trying to pay it, but they don't tell you the right way in order to get out of debt. They tell you that they will help you to manage and clear those debts. So without going into details, what they end up doing is they end up trying to help you to do some negotiation, right? Those negotiations are not exactly bankruptcy discussion, but they are making negotiation that will destroy your reputations with the companies that you have those credit facility with. Okay, so let's try as much as possible to avoid them. If you are in a lot of debt and you want to get out of this debt, I do have a secret for you here today, and it is an open secret. Okay, and that is why I'm saying, if you are here, if you listen to this information and you have a lot of debt, you have a lot of credit card debt, you have a lot of personal loan debt, you have a lot of car loan debt, I have an open secret for you. And that open secret means that you need to pay off those debts as quick as possible. And we will tell you the strategy that you need to use. You need to increase your cash flow. You need to avoid more debts. We will tell you what you should be doing. Credit repair will end up doing you more harm in the future. So avoid, avoid, avoid. Number two, payday loans. Okay. Sincerely, payday loan is one of the biggest and the greatest mind-blowing financial operation that I have seen in my life. Okay, so let me give us an example for some of us that don't know. A payday loan will, for example, typically pay up your check or your expected income, all right? They will pay it off earlier than the due date. But The issue I have with that is each time they do that for you, they charge you about 30%, right? So they charge you about 30% because they are taking some risk, but the risk you are taking is higher because the value of the money that you are getting, that you are putting in your pocket, right, does not reflect the hard work that you have done, right? The hard work that you have done. So a lot of people, they need money before they get their income, just to restate it, and then they will go and use their income as a collateral to take this loan, and this collateral loan will charge them up to 30% or more. So my advice is please avoid this type of places. Again, what should I do? What should I do if I need some resources to money? I need resources to money urgently before I get paid. Please set up an appointment. We will tell you many different avenues that you can use to get cash from your financial institutions, right? That will make a lot of, that will give you a lot of leverage and advantage other than going to payday loans. Number 3, pawn shops. A lot of people, yes, might not know, but these are people, businesses that lend you money at higher interest rate and in exchange of your collateral material. For example, gold, for example, electronic, right? They ask you to bring those collateral and they will give you the loan, right? Please avoid those type of shop because until you repay the loan before you get your item back. But unfortunately, when they are giving you the loan, they make sure that the loan to value ratio of the amount they are borrowing you is typically on at an advantage to them. Okay, so let's say, for example, I have an iPhone which costs around 1,200, and I use this iPhone to go and borrow $300. Okay, $300 plus interest, and the interest is around another 30% or 40%, right? So if I am able to pay back that money, I will be paying back somewhere around, let's say, close to $400 or between $400 and $500 for this iPaying and loans. So it is something we need to avoid. It is something that we should be careful, and we should talk to a financial advisor if we are in need, if we are in financial need and we are looking for alternative. That is why we said schedule a call with us, and we will be able to help you without any commitment, without any obligation. We will be able to help you on the options you have. Number 3, you may be also surprised, tax refund lenders. These are the people we need to avoid because they charge very, very high interest rate. Another very important places we should avoid is we should avoid too much too many credit card. Okay. The purpose of credit card is we want to have a credit facility that we can use to build our credit history. Okay, so if you want to know exactly how you can use your credit card and it will help you to build your credit, you can schedule an appointment. We can discuss in details, but we should avoid having too many credit cards. Typically 2 to 3, okay, is already a lot of credit card for us, right? So let's make sure we maintain that, and we will see a lot of difference in our financial health. Expensive jewelries or clothing. The interesting thing about this is, I don't know whether Texman Warren have really seen this before. There are some of the jewelries and clothing that we decide to buy. They are really expensive, but people don't even know they are expensive, and they don't really look that different to the normal ones that people buy, right? We are not saying we shouldn't buy expensive jewelries, we shouldn't buy expensive clothes, but buy it if you have the cash. Don't forget, don't buy it on credit. Okay? So, absolutely. So, that is what we are saying. So, let's buy based on our affordability. There are some people, and so many people, that will buy these things, and they will buy them because they were just going through the mall or they were just going somewhere and they decided to see it and they decided not to avoid the place, right? Not because they were prepared and they have the financial resources to buy them. So that is what we are saying. Okay. So avoid most of the credit facility, like where you will buy items like phones and other gadgets as well. Why? The reason is that if you are in Canada today and you have a phone or any of the electronic that we normally need, and you buy that phone with your money and you pay, right? You pay for the service that you get. In the long run, you will not get unexpected bills that will come to you, right? You will not get more incentive to get you more into more debt. So the problem is, when you have a phone, the deal is, structured in such a way that before you pay off that phone, you will be exposed to get into more debts, to collect the latest phone. Because if you don't do so, you will realize that the amount you need to pay before you finish using the old phone, the amount of balance left, is a lot of money. And then you will be wondering, what am I paying for all these years? So let's avoid where we get all these unnecessary gadgets and services. Buy what you need. In fact, those people who talk very, very deeply about how you can manage your financial resources and things that you should avoid, they tell you, do you need a cable, right? Do you actually need a Rogers cable or a Bell cable in your house that costs you that $100? Do you know that a lot of people today, they have cable in their house and telephone, home phone line? that they rarely use. They have cable that they pay 100 and 120 for, but they don't have anything that they are saving for their child's future. So when we really, really want to talk, we want to go down on those things that you should avoid, it's usually a lot of very, very personal stuff that we need to be very, very careful about. Lastly, on what we should be avoiding, I want to mention something very important, which is the automobile, right? I have seen a situation whereby people got into car debts, right? And it's almost completely ruined everything, right, for them. Let me give you this piece of information. A lot of people don't know. Do you know that each car loan, each car debts you have, if you have one today, do you know that if you want to go and get money to buy a house, do you know that that car loan can reduce the amount that you will get by up to $100,000, right? So a lot of us have to think about whether we want to buy expensive car. And the truth is that a lot of times we need cars, we need the mobility as a necessity, right? At Texman Warren, have you seen somebody, a young person, just finished school? They need mobility, okay, to probably start working, but they went ahead to get one of the latest sport car, of Mercedes-Benz, right? That cost around 50 or $60,000, right? So do you think such a person is buying that car because of mobility? Absolutely not. So that is what we are saying, right? If you need a car, if you really, really need a car for necessity at this time, and the only option you have is to get it financed, then finance a car that you can actually pay off, right, when the financial resources come, right? A lot of people that we are talking about that will go and collect the 60,000 loan car financing, maybe they are actually earning 60,000 in their annually, right? So if I may ask, how long do you think it would take for them to be able to pay off that car loan? 5-7 years, right? So within that 5-7 years, they will be feeding that car with gas. They'll be feeding that car with maintenance. It's a new car, right? They will be also feeding that car with insurance, right? You remember what I told you when I wanted to get my first car? What my godfather told me. He said, it is a good thing, but today you are getting into a an expense that may never stop, right? And we invest into cars, we invest into these things for the rest of our lives. Let me put it that way, but we need to know how much we are investing in ourselves, right? That is just another reminder to let us know that there are a lot of things that we need to avoid. Okay. So I think it was very important to, because practically these presentations, right, we are having today, they are supposed to be interactive. They are supposed to be questions answer. So it is not that we are just talking about these things and just flying around it. We want to share. We want to be able to share the experience. We want to be able to talk, because that is the real purpose of financial matter when it comes to talking about how we can make things better. Okay, so I'm looking at our time, and we will actually be stopping here for today, because the next topic we want to talk about is budgeting. And I want us to start fresh with budgeting. We will talk about budget, some of the vocabularies that are very, very important to budgeting. And we will talk about what we should be doing when it comes to personal budgeting, right? We mentioned it last week. Every company, every organization have a budget. Do you think that there's a reason why? The reason why is that they are designed to be successful. They are creating this framework in order for them to be successful. So as an individual, if you don't have any form of budgeting, then you are not designing a framework that can give you and your family that not just any type of financial success, but a well planned and financial strategy that is likely to result into a great result, right? That is likely to give us that expected result that we are looking for, right? So sincerely, I would open up my heart and tell our listener that financial fitness is a very, 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 very crucial topic that is very, very healthy to talk about it. It's very, very healthy for us to reevaluate ourselves. Okay. Avoid anywhere that constitute what we call bad debts, right? We know what good debts are, and if it's going to be a bad debt, then let's try and avoid it. So this is Timothy on Gemfm. I am excited that we are able to share today, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. So have a blessed weekend. And
The one thing that I just want to ask, for the company that do the consolidation,
yes,
what do you recommend? Because you say they talk on our behalf and make things worse than it is. I
okay.
didn't know that.
Thank you,
I
thank
thought
you,
they just to help.
thank you. Oh, okay, okay, very, very good. All right. So the real information about avoiding them is, number one, not a lot of them do the things in the right way. That's number one. Yes. So don't forget, I was thinking, I wanted to make an analogy. When we say avoid something, it doesn't mean that it might not be a solution, right? But if at all you can, right? If at all you can avoid working with them, or unless you know somebody that can give you, a very, very good recommendation, right? Exactly. So before you use them, that is what we are saying. The reason is that the way they go about things, right? You may there's a little bit of difference between debt consolidation. That is why I said people have to sit down with us. Okay. There is, so the company that is doing debt consolidation for you, they are not likely credit repair company. They might be financial debt management strategy company. That's why I said we have to always talk, on specific before we can give you our recommendation. So the company you just talked about now, they are more of debt management strategy. Debt management strategy and consolidation is a very, very good thing. In fact, that is what we will recommend for you. We will recommend the debt consolidation. Then we will tell you how you are going to manage it forward. Okay. What we want you to avoid is we don't want you to go to a company that will tell you that they will help you to um, clear your debts, and then they will ask you to pay them a lot of money, you see, and then they will call the company in which you have the debt, and they will help you to tell them some stories. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So they will tell them some things that will, yes, they will tell them some things that will affect your financial reputation with that company. Right, right. So we have to be careful. An example is this. A lot of people are in debt today. Between us, a lot of people are in debt. They are ready to pay off that debt, but they need more time. Right? Now they go to a company, and the company goes to the company and said, this person, okay, listen to this. You are in debt. You need more time, right? You are owing 5,000. Is a 8 month term or a 1 year term, and then you need more time. And you are looking for the company to be able to give you more room. But somebody goes to the company and tell them that guy, which you gave money may file a bankruptcy. Because yes, may file a bankruptcy if you don't agree to these terms, because you may lose your money, right? And then the company says, okay, we have to come to the table because we don't know whether if this person goes to the extent of, becoming, liquidate and stuff like that, then we may not get any of our money. They try to get them on the table to negotiate on your behalf and get them to either almost clear up the debt at a very, very small amount. But they also charge you very high. Avoid them. Okay. So consolidate your debts. One, that is very, very important. Consolidation means is that put them under low interest, right? And look at the best way to pay off those debts via the methods that we will discuss here, right? As I told you, it's an open secret. We'll tell you some of the strategy that you can use to pay off your debt. But be very, very careful and be wary of anybody that is trying to help you to do credit repair. They may be doing you more harm than good. So by the way, if you have done even 50% of what you should be doing to make sure that your financial fitness is up to date, you wouldn't need all these people. You wouldn't need any of this because you will know exactly what to do. And those are the things we will be talking about as we talk about budgeting and other ways you can maintain your debt elimination, how you can do debt elimination. So see, the truth is, as I want to finish this today on this note. The truth is that the best way to solve a problem, everybody will agree on, is to solve the root cause of the problem. Do you agree with me with that? The
Yes.
best way to solve any problem is to solve the root cause of the problem. Not sometimes we need to manage things. They call it like debt management. That is fine. Credit management is fine. But What we are saying is we want to solve the root cause of the problem. That is the best way to approach it. Every other method needs to be done with great caution and 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 due diligence, right? Due diligence is vitally required. That's all we are saying. So we will talk more about all this debt elimination method as we move on. And I know that God will help us and He'll give us the wisdom. In Jesus' name. So let's have a weekend and we will see on Tuesday by His grace.
That's right. Amen. We give God praise and thanks, and we thank God for this segment, Great Way Finances. And we come to the end of the program, and this is Text Manual on Gemfm. Bye, Timothy.